Hello, my dear friends. You're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 16th of September. Today we have some updates, so let's start. But before we start, we need to say that the front line is stable. There were no movements from both sides. The Ukrainians did some actions on the front line, trying to, as far as I know, do some Operation Raccoon combat, trying to find out the Russian position. So let's discuss them one by one. First, we're going to discuss the area in Kherson district. Today we got a lot of updates from this area. First of all, the Ukrainians were trying to attack from Nikolaev in direction of Alexandrovka, this one. As you can see, there is an icon on this map. The Ukrainians were trying to attack the small town by the name of Pravdino. In this area, the Ukrainians had around 6 armored vehicles and 3 tanks. And they started their offensive operation, and first few hours they were pretty successful, but as soon as the Russians managed to move their operational reserves in this area, the Ukrainians stopped and were defeated. As a result of this attack, the Ukrainians lost up to 6 armored vehicles and 1 tank, and they were forced to move back on their previous positions. So there were no update about the losses among the infantry, but I believe that there were some losses, so let's see and follow this situation. Now the important updates are coming from our Andreevka, Bilogorka, Lazovo frontline bridgehead from this area. As you know, this bridgehead is located, we can say, on the Russian side of Ingulets River. And if you remember, a few days ago the Russians attacked the dam in this area, and the day later they destroyed another dam on the north. So the level of Ingulets River raised, and some Russian sources are saying that there is no more possibility for the Ukrainians to use the pontoon bridges and any crossing on this Ingulets River to supply and support their forces on this bridgehead. Yesterday we got the first update and video confirmation that the Ukrainians sent their helicopter in this area for one purpose: to evacuate the wounded person. So as you can see, there is no more possibilities for the Ukrainians to cross the river as they used to the previous months, as previous weeks. Furthermore, the Russians are saying that before the 15th of September, before the date when the Russians attacked the dam, the Ukrainians managed to move a lot of forces in this area, and by the end of 15th of September, there were around 30 armored vehicles, including tanks and just regular trucks and vehicles. So that's a lot. And as soon as the Russians destroyed the dam in Kryvyi Rog, the Ukrainians lost their possibility to support and supply this area, and after that the Russians started bomb this area heavily with the aircrafts and bombs. And the Russians are saying that every single town in this area is already reduced to ruins. The losses amongst Ukrainians are very high, and as a confirmation of that, they're providing the information about the endless line of cars that were moving from this bank of the river in direction of Berezhnye-Gavate, and these cars were transferring the wounded soldiers and so on. So as I understand, very soon the Ukrainians are going to lose this bridgehead, and the Russians will be able to establish control, or maybe the Russians are not planning to do this. They will keep this bridgehead for the Ukrainians just for one purpose: to allow them to move in this bridgehead, in this artillery back, as much as possible forces, because till today the Russians are very successful in destroying every single Ukrainian on this bridgehead. If we're talking about the north, there is no changes. The Russians still controls Olgina, still controls a part of Arkhangelsk. All this town along the front lines still under the Russian control. The Ukrainians are collecting forces, and I suppose that very soon maybe they will try to do another counter-offensive operation. Now let's discuss one more time about the attack on this dam, and let's discuss the river, at the level of the water in this river. If you remember, at the beginning of the special operation, the Russians attacked Nikolaev, and the Russians were pretty successful in March and April. And according to the Russian sources, according to many maps, we saw that the Russians managed to reach Voznesensk. As you can see, Voznesensk is very far on the north, and the main idea of the Russians in the early spring operation was to get Yuzhno-Ukrainsk, this one, because Yuzhno-Ukrainsk is the area where the Ukrainians have one of their power plant, Yuzhno-Ukrainsk, a nuclear power plant. So that was the plan. And if we take a look at the Western sources map, you're going to see that these blue clouds show us where the Russians managed to enter. But furthermore, the Russians was in Novobukh, and the Russians were in the south of Voznesensk, and they were there a few weeks, but later they were forced to move back because of regrouping and so on. But the thing is that one of the reasons why the Russians couldn't enter Yuzhno-Ukrainsk and couldn't take control over Yuzhno-Ukrainsk power plant was that the Ukrainians were using this water reservoir to they were control this, and they were trying to they were able to use this water reservoir to control the level of the water in the river. So this is the reason why the Russians also attacked this dam, just to be on the safe side, because as a result of the previous attack, like this reservoir and the water level in the river was a very important factor why the Russians stopped their offensive operation. And some Russians are saying that because of that attack, maybe they're saying that this was not just to stop the developing of Ukrainian offensive operation in the south, but from the other side, the Russians destroyed this dam with one purpose: to prepare the further upcoming offensive operation. With that attack, they have deprived Ukraine of the opportunity to control the level in this river. So maybe it's some kind of evidence of the upcoming Russian offensive operation in the south. And if we're talking about the Russian forces in this area, and about the previous topic in my previous video about recruiting of the prisoners, today we saw a lot of videos from the Russian prisons when a lot of big convoys of trucks were moving from some prisons in direction, as some sources are saying, in direction of the training centers of Wagner Group. So I believe that the Russians now start to collect and train a lot of forces. So maybe they're planning to start something in the south, and that was the reason why the Russians attacked this dam as well. If we're talking about Kherson district, there was another important update in Kherson itself. This is the capital of this region. The Ukrainians attacked this area using HIMARS rockets, and they were targeting the town hall, and as a result of that attack, they managed to get this town hall, but the governor of this area wasn't wounded. Everything is okay with him, but that was some kind of terrorist attack in this area. If we are talking about Energodar, the Russians are saying that Ukrainians are shelling all along this area, all along this bank of the river. So the situation is very critical, but is under Russian control. If we are talking about the area on our Orekhov-Gulyai-Polye front line, the situation is stable. And as far as I understand, some people are saying that this is some kind of silence before the storm. Furthermore, today in Melitopol, this area of tactical reserves where the Russians have some forces, they're keeping forces in case if something goes wrong on the north, they are able to move their forces from this position. And today we got update that some ammo depot was destroyed in this town. Maybe the Ukrainians are preparing for some offensive operation. They sent some scouts in this area, commandos, with on purpose to destroy and to reduce the Russian infrastructure in this area. Another important update are coming from Berdyansk. This town is under Russian control since the spring of this year, and today there was another terrorist attack from the Ukrainian side, and as a result of that attack, they killed two person who was cooperating and working with the Russians. One of these persons was connected with some infrastructure in this town, and the second person, his wife, she was the person who was responsible for referendum in this area. So these two people were killed. They were Ukrainian, but they started collaboration with the Russians. Another important update are coming from the middle part of this area. from our Donetsk-Gorlovka front line. The Russians, as you can see according to this map, attacks a lot of headquarters, lots of command centers, a lot of warehouses. It's like the regular job as they do every day. If we are talking about the area between Gorlovka and Seversk, this front line, there is no changes. The only important update we received from the Russian sources map, that this map has been updated. Now you can see that these two towns, Nikolaevka Drugaya, is under Russian control. This map has been updated, and now as you can see, the road between Bakhmut and New York Toretsk has been cut, and now this small area, it's north of Zaitsevo, has been encircled by the Russians or NDPR forces. Some sources are saying that some territory in this area is already under Russian control, but for now we see what we see, so I suppose that soon we're going to see more updates from this area. If we're talking about other updates, the Russians reported that in the area of Seversk they attacked the forces of AT Air Assault Brigade in this area, and there is no more updates from the front line. The front line is stable. If we're talking about Liman, we didn't have any updates from this area. There is some new piece of news from the Ukrainian side that they managed to take control over Studionak, but we haven't received any reports from the Russians about that. They didn't confirm, but if it's true, soon we are going to see the updates on this map. This our resume, and as you know, the Ukrainians started discovering a lot of killed people in this area that were killed during the Russian occupation, during the Russian period of time. So the Russians are saying that Ukrainians are planning to make another Bucha, but in Izium area. So we'll see, we'll follow the situation as well. If we are talking about the front line on Oskol River, there is no changes. The only thing that today we got some update from the Ukrainian side that they managed to cross Oskol River near Kupiansk. Some Ukrainians are saying that they managed to liberate and return control over entire Kupiansk, but not only over the west part, but the east part as well. We haven't received any updates about that from the Russian side, so we'll see, we'll follow the situation. Also, if we're talking about this area, the Russians are saying that they attacked the 66th Brigade in this area, and we're talking about the entire 24 previous hours. The Russians are saying that as a result of their attack, they managed to destroy up to 400 soldiers and 20 armored vehicles all along the front line. And they attacked the 80s, as we discussed, 80s Brigade in Seversk, 66th Brigade in Kupiansk, this one, and 28th Brigade in Nikolaev area, in this area. This one, as far as in this, yes, this 28th Brigade. Another important update are coming from the Russian-Ukrainian border. Today there was like two interesting events. First one, that the Russians are saying that Ukrainians in group of 30 soldiers were trying to cross the Russian border and trying to attack the small town by the name of Shebekin on the Russian territory. And the important thing in this, that if we're talking about the Russians, from their side, there was just the regular army, just the guys, conscripts, and there were no professional guys. So it's very important update because, as you can see, very slowly, step by step, but the Russians are involving their conscript army against the Ukrainians. But if we're talking about this particular case, that was the Ukrainian fault why they did this. I don't think that Ukrainians need to do this, but they did this. Furthermore, another important update on the river of Oskol was that Ukrainians attack a small town of Valuki, this one town that located on the north from, let's say, Oskol river. This one, they attacked this area with the artillery, and they destroyed some energy facilities in this area, and with help of that, they managed to shut down some electricity in this area for a couple of hours. But as you can see, that the Ukrainians are saying that that was some kind of revenge for the Russian attack against the Krivoy Rog dam and so on. So as you can see, the front line is stable. No updates, nobody moves, but as we understand it, as I know, there's some kind of silence before this storm. So we'll see and we'll follow this situation. And that's it for today. Military Summary channel reminds you that we condemn any violence in Ukraine. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.